Welcome back to the Lightkeeper's Path. I'm your host, Kimberly Katherine. Before we begin, I'd like to dedicate this episode to someone very close to my heart and to all those navigating hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, chronic pain, and the often invisible challenges that accompany them. Last month was EDS and hEDS Awareness Month. This episode is being released in June, but for those living with these conditions, awareness doesn't end when May does. Every month is hEDS and EDS Awareness Month when you're living it, loving someone who is, or supporting this community. Today, I am honored to welcome Lorraine Ansell. Lorraine is a writer, speaker, and storyteller whose work explores chronic pain, resilience, and the human experience. Living with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and a history of sight-related complications, including a detached retina, Lorraine brings a deeply personal perspective to life with chronic illness. One of the most remarkable aspects of her story is that for much of her life, she didn't realize she was living with pain. The sensations and limitations she experienced were simply normal to her. It wasn't until she was diagnosed that she realized not everyone was carrying the same physical burden. Lorraine is the author of The Surrender Agenda, a powerful exploration of living with chronic illness and discovering a different path, not through fighting pain, but through transforming her relationship with it. In today's conversation, we discuss hEDS, chronic pain, identity, surrender, and what Lorraine beautifully calls the delicious moment each morning before pain arrives. Please join me in welcoming Lorraine Ansell. Well, hello, Lightkeepers. I am so glad you're here, and I have such a special episode today. I have Lorraine Ansell, who has recently, 2 years ago, written an amazing book. I just finished it, The Surrender Agenda. And if you are watching on YouTube, look at the synchronicities here. My daughter's beautiful artwork, my gold nails, my daughter, red, my daughter's beautiful artwork, and her book. Wow, talk about synchronicity. Isn't that freaking amazing? On down to the line. Wow, amazing. And they have a lot of things in common, and I'll talk about that later, or maybe not. We'll just kind of see where everything lands and everything goes. But I just wanted to introduce you and say a big, huge, warm hug. She's coming in all the way from England, and it is Friday late morning here. And is it Saturday yet, or is it Friday
No, not
late
yet.
evening?
Friday
Okay.
late evening here.
Where exactly are you located again in
I am in the UK, so I'm in the southwest, so about 2 hours away from London.
Okay. I think you said you're close to Stonehenge, right?
Yes, that's right. Near Stonehenge. So that's
Wow, so
quite a
beautiful.
pretty place of the world, have to say.
Your book is amazing. I finished it
Thank
this
you.
morning, and I did it on Audible because I like to, I don't know, I stay a little more attentive. I can keep moving and garden, put the dishes away, fold or sit or, whatever. And it was really so many things. I get full body chills just talking about it. That. So you were diagnosed 2 years ago, and pretty much your entire life you had this and did not know and had the pain everywhere and thought everybody else had pain and just thought that was normal.
Yes,
And
I did.
people would call you lazy. I think I had so many favorite chapters. I love the trauma tiara, which we can get
Yeah.
into later. That was so creative. It was British. Oh, you just hit all the marks there. So, but why don't we start from the beginning for the people who, let's maybe first define EDS and hEDS. What's the difference? And just a little bit about your journey. Do any of your family members also have a connective tissue disorder?
Yes, well, thank you firstly for having me. It's wonderful to be here, and hello to everyone watching and listening. And I'm really glad that you actually listened to it, because you're the first person who's told me they've listened to it, which is very
Oh,
exciting for me, because
wow.
I made it on purpose like that, because I do believe voice is really important and I wanted to give voice to this, but also because I had a detached retina 2 years ago. And for me, listening is really, really important because that was part of my recovery. I couldn't read, I couldn't really see things. So hearing the TV, the radio,
Mm.
books, etc., that was really important to me. So I really wanted my book to also be available with voice. So thank you. That's really nice to hear you say that. So yes, I was only diagnosed with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome about in my early 40s, which is now about 4 years ago now.
Oh, four. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to be honest, I had always lived a life where I'd had silly little accidents and injuries, and I had all sorts of odd things happen. Like I would have bruises that seemed to come out of nowhere, and I didn't crawl as a child. I just slithered like a snake and I stood up. That's it. Everything clicks the whole time. My knees click, my hips click, my wrists click, my fingers, everything just clicks. And I just always felt odd, really odd. But nobody seemed to be like that when I looked at them. I couldn't explain it. And it just went on. And I assumed, because I didn't know until my diagnosis that I was also in pain. And
Mm.
it was just incredible to me to learn that. And since then, I've been on this journey trying to understand chronic pain, to how to work with it, and also just to talk about it much more, because I feel that often we don't talk about pain enough. We dismiss it, we talk ourselves out of it, that it can't be that bad. And I've realized that maybe we do need to be talking about it a lot more. Maybe we do need to express ourselves much more about it. So that's really where kind of it all started from. And basically, yes, hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is one of 13 or maybe 14. I think there'll be an update soon. But basically, it just means that my connective tissue is a little bit more stretchy than normal. And it is on a spectrum. There are hypermobile spectrum disorders as well as hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Now, I think the criteria of diagnosis is changing. I think that will change in the next year or two, but it's interesting that basically for me it presents with eye issue, teeth issues, joint issue, muscle issues, fatigue issues, and most of all, pain.
Mm. And so EDS, can you just describe that a little bit for our listeners who are new and maybe aren't familiar with it, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome?
Yes, I would say the best. It's a group of it's like genetic, like it's
Yeah.
inherited, and it affects the body's connective tissues. So the collagen, these act like a chewing gum or a glue. I like to say chewing gum.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more stretchy than other people's.
Right.
So this and what is connective tissue? Well, connective tissue is everywhere in your body. It's in your skin, your joints, your blood vessels, your organs. We are made up of collagen.
Yeah.
So
It's the fascia, right?
exactly.
Right.
So it's
It's the
absolutely
fascia.
everywhere. And for me, I present with a lot of eye issues. So I'm very, very short-sighted. I've already had one detached retina. And so that's how it kind of presents for me. So yeah, it's basically hypermobile joints, tissue fragility, and just stretchy, fragile skin. There are differences. There are 13 or 14 types
Of the EDS, right?
of EDS, and I have what used to be called type 3, which is called hypermobile.
Right. Yes. Okay. And it's a genetic thing. Does your family doesn't have, or do they have any of this or?
So I'm the only one diagnosed in my family.
Okay.
However, I believe that it's highly likely that both my parents present with very similar issues, and have had to have medical intervention with some of those issues.
Right.
And I highly suspect that yeah, I have inherited quite a few things. The eyesight thing runs in my family.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's a big
tummy,
one.
big one. Yeah, tummy issues. I have a few tummy issues going on, and yeah, fatigue.
Yeah, the fatigue. Wow. Well, your book is amazing, like I said, and it talks about pain because pain for you, it seems like that's the biggest piece that is played in your life, probably along with other things with your tiara. I love the heavy tiara, tiara trauma.
Yes.
And I love how it was kind of midway through, it not only surrendered to it, but you embraced pain as a relationship and as a persona. And that was probably one of the most pivotal parts for me of your book because you didn't discount it anymore. And you said, the pain, you've always talked to me, you've always been with me, you've never left me, you're my friend. And that was such a turning of the leaf for me because you're correct. People don't want to hear people talking about pain. People want to fix it and people want to cure it. People are uncomfortable around it. People don't want to sit with it. And I'm just wondering, was there something where you got to that point and you said, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to turn this leaf. Was there one thing that happened, or was it just a myriad? Because this was about maybe 2.5, 3 years ago when that happened, right?
It was really at the diagnosis appointment that I was really quite surprised to learn that I was in pain.
Right.
Because, no, what do you mean? What do you mean? I would know if I were in pain, right? Because I'm in my early 40s. I know what pain is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd had periods, all of these things. I've had accidents. I broke my foot, all of these things. I know what pain is. And I feel that when you get to a certain age and you have always lived it, you normalize it. And for me, especially, I had grown up seeing my peers, other people, society as a whole. And I kind of realized that they weren't acting like how I was feeling. So I assumed everyone was feeling what I was feeling. And, as a toddler, my earliest memory are the soles of my feet hurting constantly, like I'd run a marathon. No toddler is running a marathon. And it was only last year that my doctor actually said, no, my feet don't hurt. And I still was like, oh, okay. What do you mean your feet don't hurt?
Right.
And so that really was a moment because I thought I'd had this perception of what pain is or was.
Yeah.
The traditional somebody in the corner, or screaming in pain, all curled up, very, very visual perception. And I thought they would be screaming the whole time. And I wasn't screaming. I was just walking around and feeling a bit sore, or so I thought. And so for me, this journey about pain has been actually to learn that the sensations that I've been feeling is pain. And to accept that after 40 years, this pain is chronic.
Yeah.
I was seen at 14 for my knees by a physio. At 15, I was told I had scoliosis.
Wow.
And I was told a lot of the time this was growing pains. You'll grow out of it. They're just teenage things.
Yeah.
And the reality was that I still haven't grown out of it. Otherwise, I'm a perpetual teenager and I'm still feeling those things. So this sparked a whole journey where I started journaling because I suddenly realized, hang on, I don't know who I am because I didn't have a relationship with pain.
Yeah.
I was feeling pain, but I didn't know. And so I started journaling, and the words came out and I was able to express myself in a way that I haven't really been able to do prior to this and now after. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And all the messages that we hear a lot of the time is, yes, we're dismissed a lot of the time, especially if you are a woman. We're told just to get on with it, to distract yourself from it. And also there's a feeling I find of you have to fight against it. And in my head, I think that's a really visual, really aggressive thing to do. I don't have the energy. I simply don't have the energy.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe I can do something different. Maybe I can learn to live with it.
Yeah.
And how do I do that? I need to love it. I need to find a way. Because if you're then telling me that my pain is other and we should fight it, then I'm fighting a part of me all the time.
So beautiful.
Instead of embracing it, exactly, instead of embracing it and accepting it and then integrating it within myself.
Yeah.
Does it hurt? Yes. Is it frustrating? Absolutely. But this is a skill that I am practicing every day, to listen to myself, to be more self-aware, to understand pain as a persona.
So what is the persona of your pain?
So for me, I like to think of pain. So I have a little cat and she's cute and she's lovely. You know, she's very little. She's 15 years old, but she's still very little. Yeah, she's really cute. She does look like a young cat, really.
What's her name? What's her name?
Oh, her name is Dink, little Dink. She's so cute.
Dink.
Dink. She's dinky because she's dinky.
D-I-N-K?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Go ahead.
And what I think is just interesting is her relation. Like, I don't speak cat.
You don't
and
speak
she does
cat?
not speak. No, I don't speak cat, and she doesn't speak human. But somehow we communicate. She makes her needs known. She, if you don't feed her in time, you know, she'll start patting your nose or, you know, your arm or something. And, you know, you might be at the computer, you might be watching TV or something. And, you know, suddenly this little paw comes and she'll pat me. And if you don't listen to that, then she gets more aggressive with her patting. And then sometimes maybe a little claw will come out and she will meow. And do you know what I mean? She becomes... And part of me realizes that if I treat pain like that, you know, that kind of, if you hear that, if you understand and listen for those first few pats, which are soft, but they're saying, please attend to me.
Yeah.
Then you won't get those big scratching, you know. And for me, I realized that that's how I could manage the pain. Because, you know, what do I need to do to help support me? And to manage the pain, I do have to pace. I have to realize that if I do X, then I might not be able to do Y. Or if I do X and Y, then maybe I'll need 5 business days to recover from it.
Yeah.
But treating pain as if it is my little cat. Remember, a cat is cute, but they're still a wild creature at heart. And so I remind myself that pain is also that creature. It's me, but there's the ferocity and wildness to it.
That's a great persona. That's a great visual. So you have a little cat, Dink, a little one that paws at you kind of constantly until you get your attention. I love that. With the little claws. And that's
Little
so
claws.
true.
Yes.
Oh, did you declaw? Or did you?
No,
yeah,
never,
the little
never,
claws,
never.
and just
Little
and
claws
it
come out.
kind of just keeps netting at you until you. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Well, how did you learn to accept pain, and what is the strength and purpose that it's been for you?
How did I learn to accept pain? I think it's an everyday mindfulness.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Every single day, it's a practice. Every single day, I practice the skill. Every day, I talk to pain. I'm learning the language of pain. Being self-aware. What do I need? What are my bodily needs? How can I serve myself today best? And it starts in the morning when I wake up, because there is this delicious moment when I start to wake up that I do not feel any pain. And it's a microsecond. It is this between sleep and awake. And it's very tiny, and I don't feel pain. Probably because the system hasn't logged on yet. Maybe it's dialing up or something. I don't know. Like the old
delicious
ways.
moment. I love that.
Yes. And it is a most delicious moment for me, because in that millisecond, I am acutely aware of there being no pain.
Mm.
And then as I awaken, my systems turn on. My system is then flooded with the messages of pain. And I feel it in my feet. I feel my hip. I feel my knee. My head, neck, and shoulders start to have a conversation. And everyone is suddenly, we're all in a packed room, all together, all trying to get an order in of a sandwich or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it starts with listening to everyone. Is everyone okay? Is everyone on the bus today? Or did we lose anyone? Did somebody forget their sandwiches? What's going on? And then, if I can make it to the shower, and that's okay. If I can then have breakfast, and that's okay. And then I'll have a moment, because that's already quite a lot of activity.
Yeah.
It might not seem like it, but it is quite a lot of activity. And I think being aware of myself and pain, I start to realize what will be an energy activity versus a lesser energy activity. And every day I'm learning that how to ebb and flow with the rhythm of pain. And it changes every day. It's not always the same. I'm consistently inconsistent, and always inconsistently consistent, because to be honest, it's like a river. It goes up, it goes down, it goes around. So it's a bit of a thrill, I guess, sometimes, because you don't quite know how things are going to be.
You definitely have to surrender on that one. It
Yeah,
helps.
exactly.
Do you have you mentioned in your book a bit about meditation. Do you have a daily practice? Do you do that in the morning before you start your day? And do you have a favorite meditation or practitioner?
I quite doing movement meditation. And it's not
like Qigong or Tai Chi?
Yeah, Tai Chi. I really enjoy Tai Chi.
Love Tai Chi.
And I've realized, because I used to dance when I was younger, and I used to dance on stage and on shows. I used to do ballet, modern, musical theater, tap dance. But it came to a point where we were learning choreography to this wonderful piece of music from the Moulin Rouge. And I suddenly couldn't turn.
Oh.
My body couldn't turn. The signal to turn
didn't work.
Or whatever I used to turn just said no.
Yeah.
And I remember having to go to the back of the class in the studio, and the teacher kind of looked at me and said, "Are you okay?" And I went, "Yeah," because I honestly didn't know what was going on.
How old were you, and what style was that?
That was fairly recently. That was after my diagnosis. So that was only a year or so after my diagnosis, because I didn't know how to work with it and work with myself and my body. And that was an indication where my body said no. And I had to listen. I had to stop, because I don't know if it was my back or my QL, or I don't know. It just said no.
Yeah.
And so from there, I started to realize motion is lotion, and it's really good to do it gently and stuff. And yes, I started to do things like Tai Chi, because that's a really slow, purposeful, energy building movement and practice, as well as there's something called the Zebra app, or from the Zebra Club.
Oh, okay.
Which are exercises for those with hypermobility, EDS, HSD. Very gentle, very mindful. And those exercises I really, really enjoy. But for somebody who is used to high octane dancing and music and that sort of pace of exercise, to realize that I needed to reduce exercise right down and do low intensity exercise like Tai Chi, like my motion movements. That was hard. That was hard work.
I bet.
That was hard.
So with the Tai Chi, do you do that every morning then before you start your day, or?
It depends. I'm not going to say every day, because the body sometimes
doesn't.
No,
maybe
sometimes
2-3 times a week.
Yeah. I wake up sometimes with a migraine. Actually, I give myself a migraine during the night somehow. Like I overstretch a neck muscle, and I have special supportive blankets and pillows. But those days, no, there is little movement, little exercise. So
Mhm.
yes, on the days I can, I do it very gently. I check in to see if it's a very conscious practice.
Yes.
And that's what I really enjoy,
Mhm.
because it's just everyone on the bus, when I move my foot forward, for example, and step down on the heel and then put the toe down, everyone has to be aligned.
Yeah.
The
The whole,
danger is always doing things too quickly.
the whole team.
The whole team.
Well, when you were describing your whole team when you get up and that that sweet moment, what did you call it? The delicious moment. I love that.
Delicious. It is delicious moment. Delicious. Then everybody starts to wake up.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And I think, did you do theater also? So many synchronicities here. I can't even.
Yeah, musical theatre. I was
Yeah.
doing
Oh,
some stuff.
okay. My daughter would love you. She's all you. Same thing. And
We
on
need to
down
meet. We need to chat.
on down to the artwork. I think we're gonna
Oh,
well, I told you I'm going to a horse retreat, and it's my own personal pilgrimage, and I'm gonna be there in July, going down to Cornwall, and I've been doing a deep dive into history and English and British and the kings and the queens and so fun. And I was gonna bring her with me, but then I thought, it's just too much, and I want to bring her back. I don't know. I'd like to bring her back at the end of summer before she goes back to university and do, London and do the
yes.
Globe Theater and everything. And it'd be so fun to see
Yes.
you. We could go down and
Definitely.
wouldn't that be beautiful? And
That
maybe
would be amazing. Let's meet up. Let's have a
let's do
little
it.
meet up.
I think I'm gonna talk her into that one. And
Excellent.
go. She wants to
Excellent.
go to the Globe Theater. Go to the
It's
Globe.
wonderful.
Yeah, go to the Globe Theater, see some theater. Keep it simple because, I've learned that I can move around and move around and it doesn't work because and I guess that's part of this also, takes in everything. And you talk about how you feel things deeply.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes,
feel
indeed.
things deeply. You feel it before it's even happened. You walk into a room and you feel it. Now, that is beyond being an empath. I'm an empath also, and I feel, but mine's at a different level. And I don't mean there's not a hierarchy or this, it's just a different flavor. There's like apples and there's oranges, and they're both fruits. So it's just different. That's all it is. But same with her. She will fit. And I think that's probably why you're both such amazing artists, you know? And she loves music. She loves dance. She was on point in ballet and it just
Oh,
ruined her. Yeah.
well, I was going to say that's wonderful. I was never allowed. My ankles were never strong enough.
Oh, her ankles to this day. Yeah. Oh my
Really?
gosh.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, so what I was going to say is in terms of the musical drama is this is a play in the making. I got to tell you.
Yes.
I got that download. I got that visual. When you were talking about this, my daughter can help you. I am not kidding you. I saw it. I saw them when you are there, and it could be, it's called the delicious moment,
Oh, my skin's all getting
right?
funny. Wow. Yes.
It's called the delicious moment with no pain, or the delicious moment.
Oh,
And it starts with you waking up, and everybody's all waking up, and it's the
oh my
pain, and
God. I
then
love that.
they get in the bus. And then you are the one you're probably driving the bus.
I'm trying very badly to drive a bus. Yes. Yes.
And I think we're going to
Love
stop
that.
here because I don't want anybody else to steal this idea. But I don't think
No.
anybody could because it's you. You're living it. And I so see it, Lorraine. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Right?
gosh, that would be wonderful. Yes.
Because there has been no, I don't even really know of any movies or shows or anything that has displayed or anything. Well, maybe pain, but not EDS, let alone hEDS.
Actually, I think Grey's Anatomy, I think, had an
Oh,
episode, or maybe one or two. I'm not
yes.
sure, but yes,
My,
I think
my,
that's the one I've seen.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But yes, I do
But,
like that. Wow.
right? Don't you see it?
Yes, I see it.
Oh, I so see it. And I believe that EDS as well as hEDS is getting more airplay, but
Yeah.
it was definitely dumbed down for quite some time. Quite some time. And, you know, the chapter about the trauma tiara was freaking amazing.
Thank
Gosh,
you. Thank you.
on
Yeah,
so
that
many
was
levels, the jewels, and then there's the ruby. And just for my listeners, Lorraine talks about, were there 4 jewels?
there are quite a few.
Yeah, I know
I
there were
had
3, and then there
also,
was another
yeah,
one. I was like, oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh.
I had pearls as well, and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, pearls as well. And just to kind of highlight, it was basically, and could you talk a little bit? You talked a little bit about generational trauma too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So in this chapter, which I call the trauma tiara, and actually on a podcast a few months ago, I actually we got crowns because it was in person, and we got crystals and pearls, and we start sticking them on just as we were talking. So yeah, I was making the connection that basically not all pain is physical. There is
No.
a huge, all of us have experiences that we have experienced, and many of them are quite emotional. And for me, there is a big generational trauma in the sense that my parents actually came to the UK from Chile
Yeah.
uh, because a few years earlier there had been a coup, and so it was quite violent and it was very unsafe.
Yeah.
And so my parents ended up coming to the UK, and that's where I was born.
Mm.
And you know, we have heard the concept of generational trauma now. I think that's entered the conversation quite a lot now,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're talking about mental health.
Yeah.
But for me, this is a very recent, it's only been just over 50 years since this happened. So this is still living memory,
Yeah.
generational trauma. And so, yeah, it is both bonding for me and my parents, but also is a very big difference. So that journey and those people who have also had similar journeys, like from immigration and migration around the world, that those stories will be familiar to you,
Mm.
but it carries grief and it carries joy, it carries privilege, it carries heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot to hold
Yeah.
because of that journey,
Yeah.
which is painful.
It is painful. You also mentioned some somatic work. So could you talk a little bit about what somatic work you've done and how has it helped you?
I, well, I love dance.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, for me, I bump into things very, very frequently. Even though it's my house and I know where things are, I
Mm-hmm.
bump into them all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
interestingly enough, when I put music on, any music, and I love all genres of music, whether it
Mm-hmm.
be classical or
Mm-hmm.
trance or jazz or any genre, I put music on and I don't know, my body just seems to align
Mm.
itself much better. So I've always enjoyed that. And I've always enjoyed movement, especially to music.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the opportunity to have somatic practice. And that I've had a few sessions of it, and I just find it so satisfying on a really deep level.
Mm.
There's something about allowing yourself to move in different ways. I suppose it's a bit like, for those who are familiar with dance, it's a bit like interpretive dance, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I quite enjoy, we talked about meditation earlier, and one of the things
Yeah.
that I quite like to do is just put music on,
Mm-hmm.
sit down, mostly sit down because I like to close my eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like to move. I like to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the feel of the music.
Mm-hmm.
I like to feel where I am in space and
Space. I knew
time.
you were going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, with music.
So is it, when you say the somatic work, was it something like you were working with a coach and something for, could you talk, do you mind sharing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm wrapping up I ended up extending and kept doing another container. So I've been working with a somatic coach for 16 months now. I'm wrapping it up on Sunday, in a few days. And it's been, honestly, Lorraine, the most transformational I've ever experienced. And it's been the
Oh,
last 3 years of my healing, because I have had MS. Actually, it's 26 years now, multiple sclerosis. And this actually, yeah, 26 years. I'm into my 27th, and I'm symptom free. And the last 3 years have been the deepest, but this last 17 months working with this transformational coach it's, I can't even, I'm a whole different person. And when you do this deep, because you go up to the subconscious and you reprogram, it actually not only heals yourself, but that's why I was interested in the generational trauma. It heals 7 generations ahead and 7 generations behind. So I was obviously motivated because any healing I can do directly affects my daughter, my sisters, my siblings, my parents, even though they're past, and it rewrites the history. And as we know, time is not linear. Time is, you jump timelines. So is that something what kind of somatic work did you do?
oh, wow. I've just got goosebumps all over me. I
And
did
I,
not
I
know
can
that
share
about that.
I can share her information with you, and you can, if you'd like to do a.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
She's
Thank you.
phenomenal. She's phenomenal. And then I've also done, and I know that pain is real. And you know what? I have to tell you, I was a little like, okay, this is deep, this is heavy. But then when I got to, and it's real, but when I got to the chapter of, but I'm going to love it, and it's a persona, I was like, oh my God, she's amazing. Because a lot of people do like to complain, but you were being real and you're being raw. And then you said, you know what? Okay, you've been with me my entire life. I'm going to embrace you and I'm going to bring you in and I'm going to name you and you are part of me. And I love that. But anyway, so I kind of did a little side deal there. What kind of somatic work was?
So, yes, I worked with a practitioner,
Mm-hmm.
and it was oh, for me, what really came out of it was I'm very visual. I'm a very
Mm-hmm.
visual person, and yes, I am sensitive to visualization and movement. And
Right.
I remember one session. Interesting enough, the practitioner was also a dancer, ballet dancer.
Hmm.
We had a shared passion for movement and um, lines. I'm always, if you have been a dancer, there's always talk about lines. Look at the lovely lines.
Yeah.
Look at the forms and the shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And we would often talk about lines. And interestingly enough, at one point, she was asking me to describe how I felt about my two sides of my body,
Oh,
because I had said I feel there is a difference, a discrepancy or something.
a
And
disconnect.
a disconnect, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, my right leg is the leading leg in dance. I mean, most dancers
Mm-hmm.
tend to start on the right leg, but
Mm-hmm. That's the
it was
leader.
always, it's the leading leg, exactly. And so my right hand is the leading hand as well. However, I'd always felt that the left has a hesitation, the left side has a hesitation, and the right side was perhaps too dominant. And interesting enough, this correlates with my scoliosis, because the curve
Mm.
is in that way where I'm always pulling and rotating forwards on the right side.
Yeah.
The right side has no hesitation. It is very much dominant over the left
Mm.
side.
Yeah.
So my practitioner said, well, what does your left side want to say today?
Mm.
And suddenly I had this urge to get up and I had to move.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, shall I put some music on? And she found this, I can't even remember the track. It wasn't something known. She just pulled it out from her phone.
Yeah.
And suddenly I found myself with my left arm kind of speaking and swaying in front of me, and, the left shoulder joining in, and everything on the left side suddenly had permission to exist.
I was going to say it was being heard.
Exactly.
And it
Exactly.
and it'd been shut down the whole time.
Exactly. And
Mm.
so you know, when, you have perhaps the right side, perhaps it is more developed muscly because of
Yeah.
the dance or because it's the leading leg. I don't know.
Mm.
But the left side suddenly spoke up and suddenly could be,
Yeah.
just to be. That for me was quite a revelation.
Mm.
That really was. And I started to rely more on the left side. I even started to write. I mean, it's not good writing. The motor skills on the left hand are still not okay.
Yeah.
But I allowed it that opportunity and gave it permission to write, to experience, to express.
Yeah.
And something did shift in me.
Oh,
Absolutely. It did.
what shifted? Do you know?
I felt,
Could you
I
put a name on it, or?
I felt something more like an integration. I felt like interestingly enough, I felt that my right side, like visually, came to me like a gnarly tree, like an olive tree, like beautiful in its wisdom and its oldness. But my left side was suddenly this new young sapling, and it just, they suddenly, instead of fighting each other the whole time, I had this perception that they suddenly started to bloom together. It was a really deep sensation.
That sounds beautiful.
And
How long
thank
ago
you.
was that?
Gosh, this was about 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Mhm. And have you had any others, or just the one session?
It was a series of sessions. I think
Oh,
we
a
had
series.
about,
Okay.
we had about 5 or 6 sessions, I think, in total.
Beautiful.
And I've done some online, but I'll never forget how my left side suddenly was in control. It
Wow.
was really moving.
That is amazing. I love that. Are you doing any now, or are you still open
I
to doing?
do, yes, I do.
Mhm.
So now I do meditation, somatic meditation.
Oh, I've never
So
heard of that.
I
Somatic
just like
meditation.
to sit, put some music on, and I just like to move in time
Mhm.
with the music. Or sometimes, interestingly enough, I like to move against the beat of the music,
Oh.
like just to, a bit like jazz, because jazz is,
Yeah, little choppy.
yeah, exactly. So just try but it's mostly, what does the body want to respond and how does it want to respond?
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing that. I like to close my eyes, and I just like to experience the sound waves. And I really enjoy sound baths as well. I have had the pleasure of doing a few of those, and I have to
Of
say,
doing what again? I'm sorry.
sound baths.
Oh, sound baths. Yes. Aren't
Yeah,
they amazing, aren't they?
absolutely, absolutely.
Sound baths. You know, we're made of, what is it? Is it 70% water?
Mm.
So I was just
Mm.
listening to a podcast. It was so interesting. And they were talking about, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he studied water, and he had two glasses of water, and one he put beautiful names on it, like love and beautiful, put the water in. And then the next one, ugly, hatred, and taped it around. And then looked at the water the next day, and is it molecules? My daughter would she's cellular biology. She knows all the words. It was completely distorted, the one that had the not kind, loving words.
Oh,
So it's so
wow.
profound. And that's just at a very basic level. But yeah, we're made of water. And I mean, you've seen that too, right? When they
Yeah.
freeze water, and
Yeah.
isn't it wild?
That is. And also when it relates back to pain, if we're always
Yes.
calling pain a bad thing and
Yes.
we must fight against it. No, it's
Yes. Oh,
awful.
it makes it worse.
It makes it worse. And
Putting
don't get me
gas on the
wrong.
fire. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. I know pain is painful. It
Right.
is. And when you're in the storm, it is really
Right.
painful.
And
And yes,
you don't want to discount it.
exactly. And I let myself feel it, which oddly is even sounds odd because it can be more painful. And yes, do I swear and things like that? Absolutely, absolutely. But at the same time, I'm always saying it's fine, like as if it were my cat.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's roll with this.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Because it does get okay. Like I always remember the delicious moment. I know I know there is that moment where I can wake up and there isn't that. So I'm always thinking, I know that moment exists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
But I'm not going to dismiss pain. I'm not going to say your awful things about it. I'm going to say, okay, you've chosen to express yourself. I don't agree with how you're expressing yourself, but I don't really like feeling it.
Right.
But okay, off you go.
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, that's what my podcast is, The Lightkeeper's Path, and it's going through the storm and it's finding that inner light. And that's what you're doing. You found that inner light when you acknowledged pain and you said, hey, I acknowledge you
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm going to go with it. And so when you're in that storm, you're feeling it. I mean, I have the visual of, you're in the Atlantic or the English Channel and you're like, woo, it's dark and stormy, and all of a sudden there's a new storm. You didn't hear that one. It didn't come down on the radar. And then all of a sudden you're there and there's blue sky and
Yeah.
there's the sun and it's calm.
Yeah. And it's calm and yeah. And so I hold on to those moments of it'll come. The blue sky is coming.
Yeah, the blue sky's coming. And you talk about also you have little tricks to kind of get by and you do breath work.
Yes, yes. I do breath work. I learned breath work because interestingly enough, I do voiceover.
Oh, that's so fun. For what? Can you tell us?
Yes, I've done voiceover for video games. I am
wow.
Lady Love Dies in a game called Paradise Killer. It's
Okay.
it's an open world game. It's a really you're like a private investigator in the world. It's a really interesting game. And I've done audiobooks and all sorts of I've done some meditations. I did one of my favorites was doing a Pilates session where I just talk through what you need to do in a Pilates session and just all sorts of kind of random things. So it's been really good. But one of the things that I learned on that was to do vocal exercises. And I've had wonderful coaches who have taught me how to position my mouth muscles, how to position my head, how to use the body. Again, physicality is a massive, huge part of doing voiceover work.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And also breath work, because you have to know how you can breathe as you're doing, especially long form voiceover. There's about 25 different types of voiceover.
Right.
And I have friends who do audiobooks, big, long audiobooks with many, many words. And that's a very different skill and different technique to doing like short commercial adverts for radio or TV.
Yeah.
And so the breath that you need to take and how to support the breath, how to use the diaphragm. And I started doing this way before I got diagnosed.
Wow.
And interesting enough, I felt so good from it. And then, of course, now being diagnosed, realizing that your diaphragm, your jaw, your mouth, your head, your neck, everything plays a part. And there I was inadvertently helping myself because I had been learning breath work and voice work.
Isn't that interesting? So you have been connected for quite some time because for some reason you had that little golden nugget of the voiceover. And for some reason there was some little something, oh, but hey, let's explore breath work. Isn't it fun when we're connected? So
Exactly.
when you kind of come full circle, yes, you have had all this pain, but you've been actually listening for quite some time. And you've been embracing and acknowledging it for, I think, maybe perhaps longer than you talk about. Because when you go back, how long have you been doing the voiceovers?
Gosh,
20 years?
freelance, probably over 10 years, but I had dabbled in it ever since my early 20s.
So 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And the breath work?
The same for about 10, 15 years. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Wow.
It's amazing. And breath work is part of yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi. There's always a consciousness about it as well. And I had started doing yoga and Pilates in my 20s. Again, called by it. Something resonated and attracted me, like dance. So like the dance, like Pilates, like the yoga, like the Tai Chi. Something had drawn me towards it. And I do think it's interesting, as you said, perhaps I have been listening without realizing.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been listening to the inner light for longer than you realize. Like tonight, if you meditate and journal on that, I think
Mm.
the actual time and those little nuggets that could also be in your play.
Yes, but I love the art that you have behind you because now that's now in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I'll have that as a visual,
Yeah.
so I can always refer to that, and it's just so interesting because it's the colors that grab me,
The
and I'm
synchronicity is amazing.
yeah, and it's for me color is super important, really, really
Mm-hmm.
important.
Yeah. Well, I love your outfit today.
Thank you, thank you.
Those
Can I
of
fit all the colors here? Yes,
I
can
know,
I? All of
right?
them.
Those of you listening, not seeing, it's kind of like a lime green and I'm not periwinkle blue and it's
Yes,
layers. All
yes.
but you talk about the cold and the dysregulation, and that's not the hypermobility, that's the EDS. So the EDS kind of simply, well, there's nothing simple about it, but it's your systems are not regulated. All the systems are not regulated. If you kind of wanted to put it in layman's terms, the computer system, there's glitches. And it's
Yes.
not like MS where you have the messages aren't getting through. It's not that. There's just little system glitches. It's like little, so like the cold or the heat, it's not being regulated. Um,
Exactly.
but you play with it well with your dress and your style.
Thank you.
You embrace it. I love that.
Thank you.
And
Thank
the
you. It's
story.
taken a long time. It's taken a long time. But, when I did get my diagnosis, they did say to me, you seem to have adapted quite well because there's me with with all of my layers on in a hospital, and hospitals are notoriously warm, and I was feeling fine. And everyone else was walking
Oh,
around in shirts and, they're the nurse's outfit and shirts and stuff. And I'm there
that
dressed
must be
warm.
a UK thing because the hospitals here in the United States, at least California, they're cold, they're freezing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And so it
Ah, that's interesting.
I think the coldness is because they don't want germs,
Ah,
because the heat. I imagine their electric bills are pretty high, but I don't ever remember a hospital being, and there was one summer we were in like 3 times. Yeah. So I
oh,
don't,
wow.
they were cold. Yeah. So isn't that
Wow.
interesting,
Okay.
right?
That's interesting. That's
And then
interesting.
a couple other little tricks you have is snacks. Love that.
Ah,
Tell me
yes.
first of all, are you a salty person? Because I've also known lot of salt for is that true?
Yes. Yes. So interesting enough, I come from a family who do like to snack. We
Yeah.
are snackers. We are big snackers.
What's your favorite snack?
Okay, so my favorite snack is dark chocolate with a packet of crisps. Salted crisps.
I love how you got all serious there. Now I'm
I
with
did. I
you.
was I was
Yeah, I was
there.
like,
I
okay,
was locked in.
this is serious. I'm locked in. So dark chocolate, I'm there with you. I don't know
Yeah.
what a crisp is. I'm a
Oh, crisp.
Californian. Is that a potato chip?
Potato chip. Yeah, potato
Oh,
chip.
that sounds really good.
Yeah, yeah, it's really nice. It's a really great combination. It's interesting because I did see a nutritionist years ago, and they had told me not to have this, not to have that, all of this
Yeah.
sort of thing. And interesting, I didn't have a diagnosis then, but I felt really bad, felt awful. And as soon as I started to snack again and to have sort of
Salt.
this salt and a bit of sugar, oh, I felt so much better. I felt so much better. And I kind of really learned on this journey. I really have learned to pay attention. I eat a low histamine diet. I'm low gluten. I've had to swap things in and out. I've never been able to do bananas. Never,
Oh,
ever, ever.
yeah. Okay.
Because at my diagnosis, and this is the thing at my diagnosis, I always remember this with a fondness, because not only did I learn about pain, that I was in pain, but that I possibly had two other conditions, something
And the,
called POTS and
Mhm.
MCAS. And the POTS is traditionally, they say, have a more salty, savory diet. And
Mm.
um, I also, for years, like I used to come home from school and my mum would have prepared for me a milky coffee, a milky sweet coffee, 2 packets of crisps, and 2 biscuits.
Nice.
And it was so good. It was so good. And it was gone. I polished it off in seconds
Mm.
because I just consumed it. and I felt so much better. And so now I snack throughout the day. And I realized, I think in society, there's also a point where we're always told to wait for a treat, to be patient, to wait or something. And I realized it was only a few months ago that I had bought these lovely little cupcakes and I hadn't tried it. And I had some work to do and it was a bit boring, the work, and I didn't want to do it. And I said, oh, I'll have this cake afterwards as a treat, as a little present to myself. And I realized this was a really silly thing to do because I was hungry then.
Yeah.
Right then. And I decided to eat the treat before the work because guess what? That's fuel.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I finished that job so quickly because I had the fuel to do so. Had I waited and eaten it afterwards, it would have taken me 2 or 3 times as long. I would have made many mistakes because I wasn't fueled to do it.
Yeah. You gotta listen. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's exactly. And that's one part of this journey has been to, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I need the toilet or the bathroom. Oh, I need water. And really, really listen and actually respond, hear and respond.
Yeah. Yeah. That's yep, that's so true. But the salty piece is also
salty.
need the salt though.
salt.
But I think the EDS really needs the salt.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's
Yes.
actually, it's truly a physiological thing. So listening to the body and honoring it. Yeah. And another was self-soothing, but facial. You like facials. That was another trick.
Very gentle, very gentle. Interesting enough, and your listeners won't be able to see this, but those who are viewing this, I call these these lines because of my eyesight. I can tend to scrunch my face.
Okay.
But I really quite like facials because this can get quite tight because of the scrunching.
Yeah.
I use these as indicators to know how I am because I'm doing a lot of TMJ work for my jaw at the moment.
Right.
Because I realized that my left side was quite weak. And I think I'm having some dislocation or something's going on in my jaw. But I use, like, for instance, I know my left eye is slightly lazier than my right eye. But I use that as an indication of, okay, how tired are my muscles? What's going on in my face? What is this saying to me? And, sometimes I'll have like the marionette lines will be quite prominent. And so I'm like, oh, something's tight somewhere. I need to.
Do you ever use the gua sha? You know those gua shas?
Yes.
And
I
do
do
you like
like
that?
I like to wash mine in warm water so it's nice and warm. And then I just like to use it very gently. I like to do that to wake myself up. Like I have issues with proprioception, which is your kind of feeling in time and space of you and yourself and your limbs. And so I do like gua sha, and I'll often do it on my limbs as well, just to acknowledge that we're all there together.
And then what about acupuncture? You talk a little bit about that.
Yes. I think acupuncture is one of those things that some people love or hate, really.
Yeah.
I've always been a huge fan.
Oh, good. So it helps you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It also helps because there are some places that you can't massage because it's contraindicated to massage or they're in heart. It's just a difficult areas sometimes. But I do like, and I've had all types of acupuncture, and I've also had like electrical stimulation acupuncture.
Yeah.
Where
I've done that.
Yeah. It's really
It's
interesting.
crazy. Yeah.
It is, isn't it? It's a really interesting feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. When I did that when I lived in Southern California, and I'd go like 5 to 6 times a week. It was quite a deal. Yeah, because I had my MS was it wasn't kind of, it was flaring, and I had
Oh, wow.
oh gosh, what is that? Oh, I can't think of the name. Shingles. I had shingles.
Oh, shingles. Oh, ouch. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, ouch. So I would go 5 to 6 times a week, and I would drive an hour to there, be there for 2 hours, and then go get like a fresh juice, beet, all that from a juice place and then drive home. It was like a 4 or 5 hour ordeal.
Wow.
But
That's a full-time job in itself.
you know what it was? But it was worth it because I
Yeah.
was not doing well. But that particular practitioner, yeah, he did the needles and the electrical.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was boop, 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 boop. I have an amazing one now. She doesn't, it's interesting. She doesn't do the electrical. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're all kind of, I have an appointment later today. Maybe I'll ask her.
Yeah, ask her about
But
that. Ask
I
her.
love acupuncture. I think
Oh, me too.
do you go pretty often or?
Not so often anymore. I kind of, the reality is a lot of these things are expensive and also they're resource heavy in terms of energy and time and things. So,
Right. I know.
that's something. Yeah, it's a whole thing, isn't it?
The whole thing.
And I really wish I could do it. I would love to do more massage. I'd love to do more acupuncture. I'd love to, see, one of the interesting things I'd like to see, who does feet, no, chiropodist, the person who does
Oh, the foot
nails.
doctor?
Foot doctor, yeah.
Oh, the foot doctor or you mean podiatrist?
Oh, podiatrist, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you'd like to see. Yeah. Gosh,
Yeah,
right?
I'd love to see all of these things, but
Yeah.
sometimes we're not all on the bus in the mornings,
Right.
right? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Not everybody is on the bus. Well, I think you kind of
no.
talk a little bit about what surrendering is and what it isn't, and it's leaning in and embracing
Yes.
with open arms and a
Yes.
big hug and just
Yes.
going,
Yeah.
okay, team, you're all here, all your different
Yeah.
parts of pain, and I'm just going to feel you. And the other piece I loved in your book was when you're talking about love and how you love it. You love
Yeah.
the pain, all
I
parts of
do
it.
love the pain. I do love the pain. And it is an interesting relationship.
Yeah.
And I treat it a little bit like, because I used to teach dance. I used to teach
Oh, wow.
couples who get married and their first dance. And I
Oh,
always, it's lovely. It's so lovely.
that's
I
so
really miss that.
beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
so beautiful. It's such an intimate moment. It really is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like that with
Yeah.
pain because you have to figure out how to dance with each other, and it's not
Yeah.
easy. It's
Yeah.
not you're putting two people into a studio together for the first time, and they need to figure out how to move with each other. How to spin away from each other, then come
Wow.
back without hitting the other person. You've got to learn how to foxtrot and tango and waltz and
Yeah.
all of these things. It takes practice.
Definitely.
It's not what we call it Strictly here in the UK, but I think is it Dancing with the Stars?
Oh, yeah, we have one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it started in LA. Yeah.
Oh,
In fact,
has
you know
it?
what's funny?
Oh.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this. I went to one of the tapings of it, like one of the
Did you?
very
Oh, my
first when I lived in
goodness.
LA. Yeah. Isn't that funny?
Amazing.
Kind of
That's
forgot about that.
amazing.
That was a long time ago,
Wow.
20 plus
Right.
years.
And it takes time to practice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It takes time. It's not, you're not on the dance floor. And even if you change partners,
Oh,
you
yeah.
still need to learn how to dance with them again. It's not
Yeah, it's
like
starting from ground zero.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I see it,
Yeah.
and how and the relationship ebbs and flows, but that's what love is. It's seeing the other person
With
and
compassion.
responding in kind.
Yeah. And responding in kind and grace. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any? So you've done your book. Did you do a book tour or where are you with the book? What projects are you working on now?
Well, I like the idea you've given me. That's
Well-
definitely something I'm going to be working on. Thank you very much.
We're going to be doing that. I see it.
Yeah,
My
I
daughter's
think
going to
so.
help you.
We need to. I think we need to have a production meeting. That's it. There we go.
We will be. Yeah. I see that.
There we go. I see
Yeah.
that definitely.
That's fun.
Yeah. So yes, I would like to do more book fairs coming up and things. But then again, it is always challenging with fatigue levels and stuff. So yeah, but I'd like to travel a little bit more. Again, that comes with a lot of thought in mind. It's not as easy as it once was. I
Right.
don't think it's ever been easy, but yeah.
Are you involved at all with the EDS Society in the UK?
I am a member, and I recently went to an event. Was it last weekend? A couple of weekends ago, where we had a sound bath, and my lovely friend Drew is the volunteer who coordinates for the area, and so we had a beautiful sound bath, and then we also had Jeannie de Bon, who is the Zebra app and Zebra Club, and she did some very gentle movement, so effective. If you'd watched us, it looked like we weren't doing anything, but I've never felt so, and I don't mean exercised in a I'm sweating to bits way. I just mean I felt so. She works on the very deep stabilizer muscles that we have within us.
Yeah.
And I suddenly felt those switch on, and that's really rare for me, really rare. So it was wonderful. It was really wonderful.
That's beautiful. Does she have anything on YouTube? Do you know?
Yeah, definitely. She's got some free videos on YouTube. If you want to look out for them.
What's her name?
Jeannie de Bon. It's Jeannie de Bon, DI then BON.
De Bon. Jeannie de Bon.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll look her up on
Look
YouTube.
her up. She is wonderful. Really is. And yeah, I think my next chapter, I think, will be learning more about myself, more about pain. I'm also training to be a workplace disability coach practitioner.
Wow.
To support people and organizations, to support those with invisible conditions like EDS and MS.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have all these ideas, but it takes time. It takes a long time.
Yes. And you have your whole busload of friends that tell you they talk to you.
Yeah, it's a busy bus. It's a busy bus. And
it's a busy bus. It's packed. Yeah.
It is packed. Let's hope we don't forget somebody or a sandwich or a school book or I don't know.
Oh my gosh, Lorraine, this has been so beautiful. Thank you for opening yourself up on your Friday evening in the UK. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I can't wait.
Thank you so much for having me, Kimberly.
Absolutely. Thanks for reaching out. And I feel like we've known each other before and something. It's been so beautiful. And yeah, I can't wait to meet you in person. I can't wait for the play and the production. It's going to be amazing. And maybe if you could just leave our listeners with maybe 3 nuggets of somebody who's in the storm and they've either recently been diagnosed, they've got the pain, or maybe it's just one nugget. You know, maybe we just kind of go within and if there's something that you could offer to them.
Yes. For all those listening and watching, your pain is real. It is part of you. And I really hope that you find peace and purpose from your pain.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Sending you all kinds of love and light. And thank you, everybody, for being on today. Lorraine, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your story, your wisdom, and your beautiful perspective on living with chronic pain. And to everyone listening, if this conversation resonated with you in any way, please take a moment to like, subscribe, share the episode with someone who may be navigating the storm of hEDS, EDS, chronic pain, or an invisible illness. You never know who may need to hear these words today. If you'd like to learn more about Lorraine and her work, you'll find all of her information in the show notes. And as many of you know, this conversation is especially close to my heart. As someone who loves a family member living with hEDS, I witness both the challenges and the invisible resilience that often go unseen. Because of that, I'd like to give back to this community. I'm giving away 2 complimentary 60-minute sessions to 2 lucky listeners. To enter, please visit thekimberlykatherine.com and use the code I'm ready, All of the details, along with links to connect with Lorraine, can be found in the show notes. Thank you for spending this time with us today. Until next time, remember that even in the storm, your light is still shining. Thank you so much, and make it a beautiful day.